going to attack somebody with a 2x4. Why are they so angry, so full of vent that you would even consider doing something like that to another human being?
That's Derrion Albert's great aunt. So grief has just gripped this family, obviously. Now Chicago police are investigating fellow cops. A squad car was spotted near the crime scene. Could there have been an officer right there who did nothing? Let me ask you, let's talk about whether or not there was the presence of a police squad car there. What do we know about that? We know it's being investigated internally by Chicago police. What do you know on that front?
I know this much. There was a lot of talk about a police car being present, but Jody Weiss is going to take care of all the business as it relates to the police department. Jody Weiss is very concerned about finding out what happened, because if there was a police car present, the police officer should have got out the car, put his sirens on or something, or maybe just try to disrupt the crowd. Some kind of way he could have fired a shot in the air just to get the young people to kind of disperse.
Right, get some help, get things going. Because that's a big question when we talk about the numbers from last year.
I really believe, honestly, and I believe a lot of this goes back to when black Americans accepted this liberal premise that we're not accountable for anything, that because we're descendants from slaves, that, you know what, it's okay, it's not your fault. You're a victim, it's okay. And they've created this sort of pull, you know, it's not just a physical ghetto I'm talking about, but a mental sort of barrier where you see, okay, Michael Vick is a victim of the justice system, not a person who committed a crime. That mentality is pervasive. You see it, and it's over, and it's fed to us, and it's fed to us.
Derrion Albert walks into this is an all-out riot. It's a melee. You're going to see one of these young men in red grab a 2x4, and Derrion gets blindsided. He ends up getting punched after that. You're going to see that here, and beaten mercilessly after that. Hours later, he was pronounced dead at the hospital. 14s have been
This savagery, this hate crime, of course, is an awful thing. But my concern is that what has made it a big deal is on TV. Will not he be just another statistic? Last year, the feature star in this drama of martyrdom.
Yeah. Black people would like to be a part of the system, but I'm telling you, they're systematically broken down, and it's through these policies that are, you know, listen, you're getting over, listen, look how we separate the society from a black American's point of view. The good white people are the white people that want to give us higher minimum wage. The good white people are the white people that don't want to put us in jail if we commit a crime. I mean, this stuff starts at a very, very young age, and to be quite honest with you, it's hard to assimilate into society at large when you learn things like that. And, you know, so I'm not putting down black people. What I'm trying to tell you is that there is a system, and listen, the proof is in the pudding, and it's a self-perpetuating.
African Americans especially in the inner cities, are I believe, continually abused by politicians. They are used and abused, and it seems almost like they use people for power. You know about the early 20th century progressive movement. Those were full-fledged eugenic racists. Here we come out of this movement, and that's never really been questioned or addressed or anything else.
It certainly wasn't for the purpose of being elected at that time. At the beginning of the 20th century, it was more about dealing with what they deemed the Negro dilemma, how to manage a community of what they call useless eaters or feeble-minded people. And the eugenicist was about the business of eliminating the African-American community.
Charles Payne, CEO of Wall Street Strategies. He's also from the Fox Business Network, and Pastor Broden from the Fair Park Bible Fellowship Church in Texas. Real quick, because we're up against a network break here, but Charles, you were saying in the break.
The bottom line is that ultimately black people have to pull themselves out of this. We can't wait for the Democrats, the liberals, or even Obama to pull us out of it, and the community's got to be the answer, and to the pastor's point, it's got to be God and family.
See, I have to tell you, I think that's just not, the answer is just not, you know, the African-American community, that is the secret with all of us. It has to be the individual. Each individual.
The village, though, each individual little village.
Right. Each individual's changing their own family, which will change the community.
Accountability has to mean something at some point.
May I ask both of you if you will join me? I was just talking to Charles, Pastor.
Alright, now I'm taking this down to half speed. You're going to see the guy in the red sweatshirt taking a 2x8 and clobbering Derrion Albert. It wasn't no 2x4 or 2x6. It looks like a 2x8. And then he actually got up from there, and this other guy cold cocked him. Look at that. I mean, he was done right there. He was out cold. And why don't the news channels get their story together? Like, what was really going on here? It wasn't a riot. Was it a gang thing? What exactly happened there? You know, they don't care about any of that. They want to be the first on the scene to get the story out there before all the other channels do. So it's just a race game through the networks to try to get there first. And it's a bit on the ridiculous.